Hey YouTube family, welcome back to the channel. My name is Motors and this is my Jeep Next. You won't believe it. I'm telling you, you won't believe it. Time flies when you're having fun. We just passed the first birthday for Next. That's right, Saturday was Next's first birthday. Next is that a word? But that's what we're gonna go with because that's my Jeep's name. It's a 2020 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. I have had a blast. It now has 30,000 miles on it. I started this channel back in January just to kind of share some of the excitement that I've had with this vehicle, and you guys have been there and you've loved the channel, and I really appreciate it. All those likes and all those subscriptions, hey, thumbs up. But after having owned this vehicle for a year, I've had a few issues, nothing major. It hasn't had any crazy downtime in the shop or any downtime in the shop, honestly. So I tried to make a pros and cons list, and honestly, the pro list way outweighed the con list. I couldn't even find more than a handful of cons with owning this vehicle. Now, maybe that'll change as she gets a little bit older, but you know, as of right now, at the 30,000 mile mark, I'm still highly impressed with owning this vehicle. Looking at the cons list, I've got a little cheat sheet here. It's a little pricey, but you do get what you pay for. Of course, you're paying for that Wrangler name or that Jeep name that is unmistakable when you see one of these on the road. The gas mileage. After having put the 35-inch tires on the vehicle about 2 months or so ago, I have noticed that my gas mileage is a little bit less. It's running around 17 combined. Not too bad. I've owned and actually still own one of my vehicles that gets way less than that. So, of course, that's not my daily. One of the new things that popped up, we were on a little road trip going to LA this weekend, and it's just a 4-hour drive from Las Vegas to LA. But my sister-in-law was with us, and she was sitting in the back seat behind me and made a comment on the way back that the floor was getting real hot. I'm not sure if it's because it was probably 115 degrees outside and we'd been driving for 2 or 3 hours already. But this Jeep has the rubber Mopar or Jeep floor mats that of course is going to radiate a little bit more heat. But it's really interesting that she made a comment that the floor got really hot, so hot that I was wanting to put a blanket or something on the floor. But that was just something that was noticed over the weekend. One of the other cons that you see a lot on the websites is the steering. The steering sometimes, initially when I first bought the vehicle, and it having been the first Jeep, and especially the first Jeep Wrangler that I had driven, we did notice the little bit of play that we felt in the steering wheel. But since having put the sway lock on, that has toned that way down. Honestly, I don't even really notice it anymore. We notice more of the wind blowing the vehicle because it's so boxy, and we get a lot of wind out here in the desert Southwest. So that can kind of affect you a little bit and make you think that the steering is got a lot of play in it, but oftentimes it's just the wind that's blowing us around. But that's really it as far as the cons go. A lot of pros. I mean, number one, it's a Jeep Wrangler and it has so much capability that I've climbed a few hills here and there and was kind of questioning how well it was going to handle it. Was I going to slip or lose grip or whatever? And just in 4 high, it climbs so much stuff without even me asking it to. It's incredible. So far it's been reliable. There's so much aftermarket support with the Jeep brand. That's a huge pro. Anything that you're looking for, you can find it. You just have to do some research, and it's out there. There's so far there's nothing that I've searched for that there isn't some support for. The Jeep community, of course, everybody wants to do the Jeep Wave, which is really cool. I've had a few other cars, the Subarus and things like that. That's pretty much the same around a few other cars, but it is nice that most of the Jeep owners do give you that acknowledgement. So that's really cool. But it really just depends on what you want. Is this a vehicle that you're going to get the use out of for its capabilities? I mean, my son had a Gladiator, and that thing is really cool. But when I was searching for a vehicle, I didn't want the Gladiator because I do like that covered space, covered cargo space that the Wrangler offers. And I've made a few comments in some of my other videos that I was recently moving and still kind of in that process now, finishing up here pretty soon. But I have been able to stuff so much stuff in the back of this vehicle that I was even surprised myself. So the cargo area, especially if you need to lay the seats down, plenty of room to carry most anything that you need to carry. Of course, it's not a pickup, but of course it's not a pickup. So if you need a truck for truck reasons, that's what you need to get. But a Jeep, it seems that it is able to do anything that I ask it to do, and I enjoy doing it whenever I'm out there playing around. I don't have any worries that it's not able to get me out of a situation. So, and honestly, since I've lifted it just a little bit, I've put the 35-inch tires on it. It's not a monster truck by any means, but to me, it sure feels like it sometimes. And I want to drive over curbs and all other kind of things, even when hitting the city streets. So, but hey, let me just show you a couple of things that have happened. No deal breakers, but I just want to show it to you. One of them is the left rear door. If you saw the video that I did a few months ago when we had the top off Jeep day, I forget what they called it, but everyone drove around on that one particular day, and you were able to take your doors and your top off. Well, when I was putting my doors back on, the left rear check strap, or the stop, the screw mounting hole, when I was putting that screw back in, the nut fell off the back side. And that nut, of course, now is stuck in the cavity of the rocker panel, or the center pillar here. I went down to Jeep, talked to the guys down in the service department, and of course they were surprised. They said they have never seen that before. Of course, anything JL or JK and older didn't have that check strap. So they didn't really know what to do. So they made a few calls. They got back to me and said that the body shop can basically take it apart and put it back. But I'm not sure I want to do that, because having been in the auto industry for so long and worked with body shops, I know it's not as simple as they're making it sound. And I get real particular about taking my vehicles to the shop and have them start taking things apart, because most of them, not all, but most of them don't care about my vehicle as much as I do to put things back right, or not scratch things or whatever. So I'm a little concerned about that. I do know that I can get a nut zert and fix it myself, which is probably what I'm going to do. And then the other thing that I noticed over the weekend is I took a moment to do a good thorough wash, because that's how I like to do my inspections on my vehicles, is do a good thorough hand wash. I did that over the weekend, and in the process of drying off the rear glass, I noticed that the defrost connection or contact from the body of the vehicle to the glass on the driver's side or left side had come disconnected. It looks like it is just a soldered connection. I haven't talked to Jeep about that just yet. Again, not something I'm real excited about taking into them. Of course, the Jeep is still under warranty, but I like to use warranties for things that I just can't do myself, or engine issues that I need them to keep track of if something was to go wrong with the motor down the road. But the little stuff, you know, they're so busy. I don't like to leave my vehicle in there for hours or days. And again, not have them respect my vehicle like I do. And of course, I would suspect, based on my experience in most dealerships, they're probably going to want to either solder it like I would or replace the glass. If they replace that glass, I now have to pay for retinting that glass. So that's, of course, more money out of my pocket. And I'm really not into spending a whole lot of money if I don't have to. So, but hey, I'm going to get out. I'm going to show you those two issues, and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right, guys. Okay, so here is what I was talking about. The left rear door, you see this hole right there. That's supposed to have a nut on the back side of it. And then if you see the, what I like to call a check strap, they've got several different names in the parts world, but that has an arm that actually comes out and is supposed to attach right there, and it will stop the door from swinging closed like the older models. And I didn't think it was that big of a deal at first until the door kept swinging, because my Jeep's parked in the driveway and an incline, and it won't stay open. So I am going to address that. All right, now here we are in the rear hatch, showing you the connector that goes from the body of the vehicle. I can get this in my camera here. Goes from the body of the vehicle, and it looks like it just solders right there to the glass. The other side looks fine. Kind of moves a little bit, but I'm not sure why, but it's still in contact. So I'll probably put a couple of drops of solder on there here in the next couple of weeks and see if that solves it. But that's the only other quote-unquote mechanical issue that I've found. So no real complaints. Overall, the vehicle's been really great. All right, you guys, that's it. That's just a real quick 1-year ownership review of the 2020 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. I've had a lot of fun with this vehicle. I've got a lot of great things that I want to do to get out on the road and do some overlanding at some point, some camping, some more fishing. Maybe I might catch a fish one of these days. But I've got it set up just perfect for me right now. I'm real excited about the next 30,000 miles or the next year. So I'll keep you posted. You guys keep watching. Hey, if you like what you're seeing, click and subscribe. Tell your friends about us, and we'll keep this thing going and see what happens next. See you next time.